I'm not sure who this question is for, but recently there was a case settled with St Luke's Hospital in Kilkenny in relation to a patient who died while waiting for a gallbladder operation. You be aware of that? Mr. Watt?
So I did see something in the newspapers about it, Deputy, yeah.
You saw something in the newspapers.
Yeah.
So when you say you saw it in the newspaper, as the Department of Health, is that just passed to the state for the state's claims agency, or does the department? So I mean, like, the point is, if you saw it in the newspaper, how do we stop it from happening again? Is that the extent of your awareness?
So I'm not going to comment on a situation, Chair. I don't know the details of. Obviously, a tragic situation took place recently. There's protocols in place. The HSE will initiate the protocols, and there'll be a review of that, and the HSE will engage with the family in terms of.
To be fair, you just said you saw something in the paper.
I'm aware of the case. Yeah, I'm aware of the case. Yeah,
that's fine. So there are protocols. Well, I have emailed St Vincent's every day for 2 months for someone who's in the same position waiting for a bed. The pre-op assessment was carried out on the 29th of November. There was a final assessment done with the scan in December, and every day since, no bed has been made available. So where's the protocol that changes what happened in 2017 to prevent this patient and constituent that I'm representing? What's going wrong there, or what should be happening there? Like, this is serious from the individual's perspective, that she's getting no response from Vincent's in relation to a bed, other than every day the same email comes back.
So, Chair, I can't comment on individual cases. I don't know the case.
Well, can you tell us what the protocol that's been put in place to prevent Mr. Doyle, a reoccurrence of Mr. Doyle's incident, who fatally, unfortunately, he died?
Has the protocol changed?
What's the protocol
in place now?
I don't think the protocol has changed in the recent past. Chair, there are protocols in relation to serious incidents within the hospital system, and those are activated by...
Well, if I were to refer the personal details to the department, would you look into it?
We'll certainly refer to
right.
it, absolutely.
We'll leave that as it is, because it is, as I said, private details, so that's fine. The other question I had was in relation to, I heard you saying, you know, that we have increased the amount of doctors that are being trained. I put a PQ into the HSE, which was answered by CHO5, and the answer that came back in relation to how our primary care services are operating, encompassing disability, mental health, all of those, was really disturbing. In Wexford alone, we have 20 physiotherapy vacancies. We have 17 occupational therapy vacancies. We have 17 speech and language vacancies. We have 11 psychotherapy vacancies. That's in Wexford. So, I mean, the whole services sector is dysfunctional because no team, either in the Children's Disability Network, in the CAMS mental health, adult and mental health unit, children and mental health, none of them are working because we can't staff them. So you spoke about doctors. The chair has addressed dentists. Can you just tell me what's the fundamental thing that the department is doing to ensure that we can get the CDNT up and running, or the other services?
So the issues mainly relate to staffing and getting the staffing in place, and there's issues around staff retention. We discussed it earlier. There's issues around attracting the staff into the service and training more staff in particular areas. So the department is working away on all those different aspects. Obviously, it depends, in different parts of the country have particular difficulty in certain specialities. We have a detailed workforce plan where we're recruiting and identifying the gaps.
You share that plan with the committee?
We have shared it with the help. We can share it with you. Yeah, we can set out.
Yeah, because I mean that's the same answer that we got from Mr. Mulvaney in relation to the HSE. But I mean, I am aware that there are clinical governance issues within certain parts. I don't really want to be identifying any sector, you know, or which service it is, but there are certainly clinical governance issues. I know in my own CDNT in New Ross, the manager left. Both speech and language therapists are gone. So, you know, there seems to be a structure in the governance that is not the equivalent across the sectors, and the staff are feeling at risk. Now, this was something that was broadcast yesterday on national radio airwaves, how staff in the HSE are feeling very vulnerable, and that instead of staying in the job, they're either going through the WRC or they're just leaving. And now, that's a retention issue without a doubt, but I want to see exactly what we're doing to prevent that from happening and how we're supporting the current workforce. Has the €1,000 that was promised to the frontline workers been rolled out to everybody? And where or what is the update on that?
Thank you, Deputy. Yes, so the €1,000 payments for HSE, I think all the HSE staff have received the payment, and there are other groups, but in the main, yes, the payment has been made.
So are you responsible, or the department responsible for the payment to everybody that's entitled to it?
So ourselves and the HSE are responsible for.
Well, could we have an update, if you write into the committee with that update, because it's a significant question I'm asked. I have one more question, Chair.
Briefly now.
Plenty of time,
Yeah.
there's no one else.
Yeah.
There's have the Department of Health received a proposal for a 96-bed ward block in County Wexford for Wexford General?
Not that I'm aware of, Deputy, but.
So there's no, when you say not that you're aware of, Mr. Watt, like, you would be aware, I presume, or is there someone else with you?
I'll answer that.
Derek can answer.
Derek.
No, we haven't received a proposal because it has to come from the hospital to the hospital group and then reviewed by HSE estates. And I think that's where it is within the process at the moment.
Okay, so when
we
you
haven't
hear,
received a proposal yet.
so that would mean it's not on the horizon for the
I
near.
think the expectation we receive under the Public Spending Code is a strategic assessment report within the next quarter.
Sorry, just say that again now.
Under the Public Spending Code, that will be a proposal greater than 100 million. So we will receive a strategic assessment report for review.
But are you expecting a report?
I think we're expecting.
It's imminent then.
Well, in the next months, I understand.
So if you don't receive it, we're going to miss that.
No, I mean, when we receive it, we review it.
You'll review it. So, and what budget would it come under, or what's the likelihood of it being sanctioned?
It will require capital funding, and so the question is there a capital
But is there a
funding?
current budget for that, or would it have to come through the
No,
next?
that's in a pipeline, Deputy.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is it in this year's pipeline or
Absolutely
next
not.
year's?
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
So if you receive the proposal itself, the budget for it is way out. It's next year's proposal.
I already said earlier on, this year's budget is already allocated.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's clarified.
clarified,
Thanks,
okay.
Chair. Yeah, thanks.
Just in